Yo folks, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about release dates for the latest gacha games, mobile titles, and games coming to October, gacha news weekly, and more. Let's jump right into this. First things being is Echocalypse releasing October 20th, official releases for EN specifically. I know this is out in Southeast Asia, Philippines, and a couple other regions, so you can already play it, but for us in EN, it is now fully arriving. It's going to be pretty cultured, a lot of amazing waifus. I'm looking forward to this one, October, starting off with some bangers. We also have the Ikemen Series, or Otome style games. They were doing their 10th anniversary, and it's going to include two new games. First one's another Ikemen Series, and another Otome style game. So pretty cool for husbando lovers. And then we also have Love Live School Idol Festival 2 getting a global launch. This originally released September 2022 in Japan, so to get an EN release. I don't know if that's going to be coming to global, but by the end of it, I'm sure we're all going to have a good time at checking this one out because Love Live is a pretty great idol series, I have to say. Then we have Undecember, globally launching on October 12th. If you haven't seen any gameplay for this one, it's going to look a lot like Path of Exile. And if you like Diablo style games or more like top-down action RPGs, you'll feel kind of at home at this one. My only thing with this is that it's not as fluid as Lost Ark, I would say. It's not as chunky feeling, but it has very good combat like Path of Exile. But it's a completely different feeling, that's all I want to say. It's a great game. I recommend folks to try it. I don't think it's going to really have gacha mechanics. That's going to be too heavy, so no rolling for heroes. But if you want more of a true MMORPG experience, I think this one's definitely one to check out. Next up, we have Jewel Princess Reincarnation, a 3D idol RPG that's officially already out on DMM Games. If you don't know what DMM Games is, it's sort of like the BlueStacks of JP, except it's an official client. So there's no back-end stuff, you can actually download it on your PC, it'll fully utilize your PC resources. So it's gonna be cool to get an idol game like this. It's also similar to Princess Connect in sort of design and gameplay, except it's more idol. So if you like that sort of thing, then maybe check it out. Of course, it's going to be in the Japanese language. It's in DMM, so there's a couple of caveats. Waifus look beautiful, though, and that's why you would want to play it. Next up, we have Path to Nowhere hitting 500k for their pre-registrations. It's set to release in 2022. The only thing I have to say with this one is that apparently it might release October 31st. That is a speculative date, but this is a great game. It's compared to Arknights a lot of the times, but we saw from the gameplay, or for those who got in like the betas and stuff, I don't think it's fair to compare it to Arknights because you can move the units during combat, and Arknights, all of the units are standstill. You fully commit. That doesn't affect whether it's good or bad. I'm just saying that it's a completely different game in that way, but still a phenomenal tower defense. Then we also have ETE Chronicle, the Mecha Girl Shooter. This is launching on October 14th in JP or CN. I'm not entirely sure. It says it's going to be by Bilibili, the people who are publishing it. But at the same time, Bilibili is usually in like the CN regions, but I'm seeing like the kanjis. I'm not really sure. Let me know in the comments which area it is. If it's in CN, that is really good because that has a better chance of me being able to play it. If it's in JP, it's going to be region locked. All I know is this game looks really preem. Like, look at the designs and the characters that you get to interact with and the way the models look. It's pretty high fidelity, and like the fact that there's water graphics, some of the hardest stuff to implement in gacha games here. Yeah, I'm definitely wanting to see what this is all about, and hopefully it gets an EN release if it does really well in whichever region it comes out in. Just let me know in the comments. Then we have Osawari Yusha Sama releasing Winter 2022. The only thing that I know about this one is that from the visuals, it looks like to be like a dungeon crawler of sorts. It has like that Grand Summoner sort of, I guess, UI to it, but at the same time, it's portrait style. I'm not sure if it's going to be really good, but it's something to check out because the waifus are cute. That's the only reason why I would check out this one. I don't know about the gameplay. Next up, we have some visuals on the Goblin Slayer. Now, the only thing with the Goblin Slayer series is that it's more of a D&D style game, but some of the comments are saying like G123 is known for having VIP systems, and this might also be like an idol style chibi game. So I'll wait a bated breath, even though the visuals are kind of good on this one. We'll see at the end of the day, right? Next up, we have Civilization Reign of Power by Nexon. It's going to be an SLG, or like, you know, those Civ style games that are on your phones, which is not really a Civ style game. Anyways, you can play it maybe sometime soon. All that you need to know is that you get a Civ game on your phones, but it's by Nexon, so be very wary because monetization is probably going to be rough at the end of the day. But I do like the Civilization series, like the real one, not whatever this is, but we'll see. Then we have an NSFW game, Daraku Gear. Now, I don't want to play too much of this. Here's going to be like the websites on Eero Labs. You can play it already. It says you can pre-register on Nutaku. I would go on the website, but the website itself is very dangerous. It's being compared to titles like Tenkamufu and Rise of Eros. Tenkamufu or Tenkafuma is actually a really good NSFW game. It's top-down dungeon crawler style. If you played anything like Destiny Child, it's a more horny version of Destiny Child. But Rise of Eros, I would say it's your typical turn-based RPG, so if it plays like that. Just one thing to note is that the scenes in here are very cultured. I would play like a different trailer, but I click like one trailer and it's legit like not, you can't view it. You can't, it's not allowed. So yeah, do your own research, check it out on Reddit in case you want to, but I already got my Rise of Eros video taken down, so I'm not gonna take any more chances. Next up, we have the Fire Force CBT's QApp article. I really like their write-up on this one because it's very honest. It is a CBT for only 2 days. It was from October 3rd to the 5th. And one thing to note is that the gameplay was kind of mid. It was a turn-based RPG crossed between 2D and 3D art. The 2D, you know, there was like sprite works that would appear on the screen. And for the most part, the monetization apparently wasn't that great. Just a lot of things, you know, fell flat. And a lot of the UI also reminds me of like a typical churn and burn IP cash grab. So for this one, I would wait, you know, just don't even really, you could give it a try if you like the Fire Force series, but I wouldn't call this like the next like big Fire Force game, which is kind of sad to say because Fire Force anime is pretty good, especially the latest season. I think in some ways, like it was almost better like fight-wise than the first season. I might get a lot of flack for that, but hey, we don't come here for anime. We come here for video games, and this game is not the one. Next up, we have Neural Cloud. It's getting pre-registrations ahead of 2022 release. This is probably gonna have something happening in November, I think, so look forward to it. I am definitely keen to play anything with the Girls Frontline IP on the line. Then it's usually pretty good because Girls Frontline has a pretty solid like foundation of story and characters and worlds that you get to interact with. So can't wait to see what happens in November for this one. Then we have EA revealing FIFA Mobile getting a limited beta in, I believe, India and Canada. There's going to be some countries that can play this. I think this might already be out for some countries. All that you guys need to know is that there's going to be some fixes so that this game is going to be better. A lot of you guys probably don't care about FIFA Mobile, but this is probably one of the biggest loot box gacha games in like the Western regions. Like people spend $50,000 just to roll a good account on FIFA, which is, you know, pretty comparable to someone who plays Fate Grand Order or Genshin, except FIFA Mobile, you know, or FIFA games in general, they're in tournament style, they're held in the same regard, Apex Legends and stuff. So I want to bring some news on this, even though you guys probably don't care. But hey, for FIFA Mobile having some news on that front. Then we have Unhappy Raccoon. It's going to be out on Android and iOS. I keep talking about this one. I think it's going to be a cool roguelike because not too many good roguelikes on the mobile scenes with this quality. Then we have the events rolling around. First up, we have Goddess Nikke Victory hitting 2.5 milli pre-registrations. I love to say that because I didn't think we were going to hit 3 mil. I'm going to be honest with you. And we are far above schedule. So for us to have Nikke Goddess of Victory, that November 1st release date is coming. And I feel like I believe it every single day. So Nikke Goddess of Victory, if you can come in November, I'll be really happy. Whether it's November 1st, or, you know, the tail end during Thanksgiving or whatever, if you celebrate it, it's going to be happening because we're going to hit the 3 milli and we're going to get those summons and diesel. It's going to be awesome. Next up, we have Project Sekai 2nd anniversary. There's going to be daily free polls, 11 new playable songs. So if you love Project Sekai, that is really great. Then we also have Blue Archive getting a family-friendly version due to the Korean Game Rating Administration Committee. So the best way to view it is that some of the characters are obviously sexualized, and there's like, you know, R18 being in question. It's really weird how Blue Archive is being, you know, targeted, but at the same time, the characters are more known to be in a school setting. And Azure Lane in a lot of those games, they're not really in that setting per se. But who knows why this is happening. At the end of the day, you guys can let me know down in the comments. It's spreading like wildfire. Like, this website actually is a petition. If I scroll all the way down, there's some people who are like, hey, you know, I signed up, I placed my complaints. So, you know, the Korean community is definitely taking this fairly seriously. So let's see what happens to, I guess, the friendly version of Blue Archive, because KR players definitely don't agree with the, GRAC. Next up, we have Guardian Tales on the Switch. That is really awesome. It's already out. It's perfect. Zelda Link is on the Nintendo Switch, so why not have Guardian Tales on it? It's not the same game, but, you know, gameplay-wise, the core mechanics are pretty damn similar. Then we have Alchemist Code by Tokyo Revengers collaboration. Then we also have a Hololive collab with the JuBeat, a Konami rhythm game. It's like this cube where you tap it and you get, you know, euphoria from pressing the buttons on time. All you need to know, you get to play some Hololive songs. If you're in JP, or if you see a JuBeat, you know, at an expo or an arcade, which is super rare, but maybe you can find some Hololive songs. That is really cool. I like that. Then we also have a Megaman by Monster Hunter collab. This is actually going to be collabing with Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and the Gormagala armor is going to be what Megaman is going to be wearing, which I think is really insane because the Gormagala is a pretty crazy boss. Look forward to it if you play, you know, the Megaman series in the JP lands, or, you know, just want to see something cool Megaman wise. Also, we have Destiny Child collabing with Guilty Gear. I think that is really cool, mostly because of the fact that Destiny Child has some of the best artwork in the gacha scene. So for these characters to come to Destiny Child, I want to see how far they are pushed graphically, and not to mention look-wise, because Destiny Child is very cultured, if you know what I mean. And yeah, just a look at these like trailers right now, they are looking pretty fantastic. I've seen these characters in, you know, Epic 7 and stuff, so let's see how it flows. Next up, we have 7 Deadly Sins, you know, celebrating its 50 million downloads, new characters, and all that stuff, so kudos to them. We also have Apex Legends releasing Wattson, the Hololive. No, I'm kidding. I wish it was the Hololive character, or, you know, Hololive idol Ame Wattson, but it's not her. It's gonna be Wattson, the Electromancy sort of character. She's gonna be cool, you know, so if you're an Apex Legends mobile fan, you get to play as Wattson. Then we also have a Blue Archive event, nothing with like the GRAC or whatever, so check it out. The Clumsy Sister and the Magician of the Old Library. Then we have FGO news rolling around. First up is going to be Lasengel. That's going to be the new assassin releasing Halloween 2022. This is going to be a revolving theme where Apple App Store is going to be increasing prices. We'll be talking about it more so. Now we have Genshin news. First up is Nilou. She's going to be a stance-based character. So what does that mean? She's going to play a lot like Child, which is interesting because she's a water-based character, and it seems to be like water-based characters have like these unique mechanics, or certain elemental style characters have unique mechanics. That's really cool at the end of the day, giving, you know, some flair to Nilou. Hopefully I'm saying it right, or Nilou. And then we also have the 3.1 teasers for Nahida and Layla. Nahida is going to be the Archon. I believe that's how you say it, the Dendro one. She is really cutesy. There's a reason why she's all lolly chibi size, and I think the backstory is really cool. Layla, she definitely has my waifu vibes, where she's very lazy. She can do some crazy damage and stuff, not even trying, not even attacking. So she seems really busted in that sense. But all that you guys need to know, Genshin doing Genshin things for 3.1 and previews. And then fans are worried about the direction of Endgame for Genshin. And the reason for that is that GameSpot did an interview, and what happened was Genshin revealed that, or, you know, Hoyoverse, they are not sure about adding content past Abyss Tower to not make their game too competitive. They want to make it more casual. They don't want to add new elements. They want to implement new battlegrounds and challenge levels, but they don't want to power creep old characters. I think that's fine, but they want to work on reliving past events. There's no plans on, traveler outfits. It's a lot of like the same thing. Like there's going to be new story and there's going to be new content, but there's not going to be anything new gameplay wise that'll change the dynamic of it. They want to make Genshin a more casual style game, but it leaves a lot of bitter taste towards like, the competitive players or the players who are already at endgame and don't have much to do. But we'll see how it goes. Hoyoverse is pretty smart about handling IPs, I believe. And then Genshin Impact also got 6 new commercials in JP. They're all really adorable. Feel free to check them out. And lastly, IRL news. First up, we have the sensor tower numbers. I think this is crazy because, no, it's not that crazy. Genshin number 1, of course. Umamusume, pretty much second. FGO, right up on there. Tower of Fantasy is also there. Diablo Immortal's there because Diablo Immortal, what else can I say? I think the biggest surprise is probably Heavens Burns Red. I'm not surprised about Project Sekai. That's a really great rhythm-based game. I don't know what Imas Darasut is. Azure Lane, of course, FGO, Blue Archive, Princess Connect, JP carrying us, and then a couple others. Sheer Neko, Honkai Impact, Third Bang Dream, Arknights. Yeah, Sinnoh Alice is still up there. But at the end of the day, this is all really cool stuff. If you want to check it out, there's links in Reddit. And then we also have Aftermath prices with, Apple increasing in JP and other regions. It's really weird because a lot of people are affected mostly in iOS. It's not really affecting Android players yet. It might affect us a little bit later. The economy and inflation. I don't really want to talk about it because we're gamers. I just want to bring awareness that prices are going up. Then we also have Tencent setting eyes on the global market. There's going to be new acquisition strategies so that they want to push their games more in the Western areas. So they plan to have like more Call of Duty style games. They want more PUBG style games. They just want to capture the Western audience because they feel like they captured CN, which kind of makes sense because Tencent, they're like the equivalent of Microsoft game-wise or Sony JP-wise. They want their hooks in the Western regions. I guess they just want it all. And then we have Gamescom happening in Asia, October 20th through October 22nd. That's gonna be really cool. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of new games mobile-wise because Asia's pretty good on mobile gaming. So we'll see what's gonna be happening at the end of the day. Hopefully there's gonna be new trailers, Honkai Star Rail, maybe some new stuff for Genshin. But at the end of the day, it's always good stuff to see, like more gaming news. And then we also have how did Arknights like blow up? The biggest thing was Arknights was combined by Hypergriff Studio and Yostar. Hypergriff was formed by ex-Girls Frontline devs, and it sort of mishmashed in a way where there was enough hype from the Girls Frontline fans and Yostar being the marketing giant that it is, leading to Arknights. And what it goes to show is that Arknights wasn't an overnight success. It was built off of a fandom that already existed in some ways. And it really speaks volumes of how Genshin graded its audience because Genshin was known as the Breath of the Wild clone. And when it released, Breath of the Wild was like at the peak of its like moment in gaming. But at the end of the day, it's a culmination of events that makes a game larger than life. And then it's a matter of whether the fandom sticks and the publishers can actually make the game viable enough so that people pay attention to it for longer periods of time. So that's how games like sort of blow up. I just thought that was really cool. And then Princess Connect news, Luna is now out. I am sure there's going to be a lot of fun things going around. Just won a Nendroid, right? Yeah, Nendroid for Kokoro. And yeah, there is also Dolphin Wave news because I think people were asking for it. There's going to be like new animations and all that stuff. I thought that was nice. And then the UI for this looks really good. Look at the waifus in this one. This is not an NSFW game. It's going to be a jet ski racing style sort of sim. I think it's going to be interesting. It's swimsuit waifus. What can possibly go wrong here? I absolutely love it. And then there was this Google Trends like subreddit by u/devilmay1233. I think that was kind of interesting bringing the concept of comparing. So we might as well do it. So Genshin, of course, capturing everyone during that time period, right? Fate Grand Order, Arknights, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan, and Alchemy Stars. I wanted to compare these games. Obviously, FGO was like reigning supreme for quite some time. And FGO still is. Like if we were to look in, the past 12 months, obviously FGO is still like one of the kings. It's leagues ahead of the others. Genshin is, in a league of its own in some ways. Some of you might ask that the gameplay is not that great. or, you know, it's not really a mobile game. I definitely agree with you in a lot of regards. I just think the fandom is different. It's not the mobile fandom. It's like a global worldwide phenomenon. So I don't think it's compared to a gacha game. But anyways, TwitchCon stuff. I had a lot of fun. I was there, you know, I got to see like a bunch of creators. I saw a bunch of Genshin people. It was really cool. I hope to do more Genshin content streaming wise. It's not going to be like content wise where I'm making guides or anything. TwitchCon was a lot of fun. I recommend going if you've never went. I don't know if I'm going to go again next year unless I start streaming on Twitch. I think I'm just going to start streaming on YouTube. Yeah, go to conventions, have some fun, touch some grass, and let me know if you guys want me to create a fitness channel. I don't really want to do that. Just check it out on Instagram. But anyways, if you made it this far in today's video, consider subscribing, dropping a like, leaving a comment, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter. If you want 10% off of gamer subs, you know, use BORK at checkout. Video isn't sponsored. I just like talking about them and they're really cool and it really supports the channel. You know, follow me on Instagram if you want to see my face. And yeah, let me know if there's a game that you guys want me to cover down in the comments. You know, someone suggested Dolphin Waves. That's why it's at the end of the video. I definitely read the comments. So comment within the first 24 hours. I'm more likely to read it. And that's not for stats or anything. That's just the time I read. Thanks so much, everyone.